What's going on, everybody? Gustav the 13th here with a new suit for Gundam Battle Operation 2. We are checking out the Hazel Custom Icarus unit equipped for the week of August 29th, 2024. So it's a 3-star, ground compatible, priority 3 situation here. It can be both in ground and space. It is a flight suit. In general, it just has a Hazel Custom slapped in there with a bunch of violent stuff. In fact, when we actually drop down, it's quite the sight, to be honest with you. But let's go down to basics here. So we got our weapons. We got a large beam rifle here with 500 range. Very generous with that, by the way. And this actually has a charge shot, which is a 3 stun worth Groovy beam. So similar to the other Zeta that has that. Now we have one at a much lower cost at 550, rocking that kind of thing. Pretty neat. Only has 1 melee though, so similar to how a lot of the large beam rifles on Hazels and all this other stuff typically have like a heated like beam saber blade on the edge of them, this one does not. A little bit unfortunate, but we do have some sub weapons here. We got a bullpup machine gun. This is another one of those burst machines. 40 ammo. You take like 3 bursts to stun most things. We also have something that's a little bit more unique to this. We have something called the beam reflector. If you noticed, it does have flaps, kind of like how it's showing here on the chest. And I'll be honest with you, it could be better. that chest field could cover a little bit more, especially considering just the sheer size of this thing. But temporarily deploys the beam reflector when attacked by beam weapons in vicinity of the reflector. Damage taken and staggered due to cumulative damage are reduced. So a little bit of extra protection while you're trying to go in. Especially this is a little bit important when we talk about some of the skills that this has, but keep in mind that this is all beam based in general. So there's a lot of stuff that's still rocking ballistic, so it's gonna help a little, but not consistently across the board. And besides that, we have another club here. So a decent startup time on this. Another instant stun if you really needed to try to close the gap to finish and get your downswing in. Moving on over, we have our stats and our skills here. So 20k flat, not too bad. The resistance on this is 19, 30, and 17 for ballistic beam and melee. Decent amount of beam considering the field and all that, not super surprising. I would argue that for the most part, you might want to put a little bit more ballistic on there, just because there is a lot of things that will throw like Sternfoss and all this other junk at you at that cost. And considering the sheer size of this suit, especially with those shoulders, even though they do have decent buffers, you know, we have shoulder buffer and back add-on buffers level 3, so 30% on both of those. You are very vulnerable when you're trying to do certain things in this, especially as a flight suit. Moving on, we have a range strength of 31 and a melee strength of 24. Considering that you have that really long beam that you can do the extra range strength, kind of welcome. Melee strength could use a little bit of work. You know, throw in some if you can. Have a decent amount of close range to at least mess around with for that. Also, the movement speed of 125. This is actually not a Scooty suit. This is actually a walking suit. When you see the downswing on this thing, it won't feel like it, but that is what it is. We also have a top speed of 205 and thruster gauge of 60. So this is one of the bigger points of contention for me. There are certain things that help with this. A mobile aerial fire reduces thruster consumption while in that mode. Flight System 2 does mean that when you're high speed moving, you aren't burning through as much, and Shield Booster Controller helps as well, but having such a baseline load that's not even at 80 means that you're doing all those maneuvers and stuff, yada yada. You're probably going to burn through it really fast, even if you throw a little bit of extra boost on there. You really need to try to watch yourself when you're doing stuff like that. Now, that being said, let's check out the part slots. So we have 14, 9, and 17 for close, medium, and long. And going down these skills here, we have Assault Booster, we have High Performance Balancer 1, High Spec Ambac level 2, Maneuver Armor level 2, Force Injector level 2, Melee combo controller level 1. Emergency evasion system level 1. Anti-blast stabilizer level 1. Special buffers here for 30. And then the leg buffer is actually level 2, so that's 15%. Shield break stance mastery since it's rocking that shield on the top. The booster controller like we were talking about before. Although if we get into specifics, it enables mid-air high-speed movement and additional actions, increases high-speed movement rate by 15, and reduces thruster gauge at this thruster drain at the start of and during high-speed movement, and reduces stagger when hit by range attacks during high-speed movement. So a little bit of extra, throws on the maneuver armor yada yada in there. On top of the fact that it already has MA2, by the way. So flight system. A little bit of reduced on there. High-spec flight control. So syncs flight mode movement and melee attacks to reticle direction. Smooth flight. Smooth high-speed normal movement. Transitions for improved air combat. Lowers attack power. The lower attack power thing is a little bit unfortunate, but it's at the cost of you essentially moving around in this thing as if you are a spacesuit. So pretty nice. Get a little bit of extra leeway in terms of how you ascend and descend and all that good stuff. Mobile aerial fire is what we were talking about before, and this does kind of line up with the charge beam on the main rifle, so you're not going to be getting as fucked up or accumulating as much stagger. The problem is that the rifle, although it does have a decent amount of range, and we'll look at it over here for the bullpup, 275, so a little bit more than you would probably expect. I'm gonna be honest, I'd rather it just be at 300. I think that would be nice, especially when this is already only 250 anyway. And they've already given us a very generous 500 with 2200 flat on that rifle. But it is what it is right now. Maybe it'll get adjusted, maybe it won't. But let us back out a little bit here and check out the enhancements as well. So we're talking anti-beam level 1, so +1 to beam, +1 to range, plus 100 to shield HP for the third one. Conflicts expansion slot comes at the ass end of the regular upgrades at 2090 for just +1 to each. And then for the unlockables, which are for gold, is anti-beam +5 as well as +5 to range strength. Overall, not awful. You do have to keep in mind though a couple things, especially when we're just talking about general roster. We do have a fair amount of raids that are pretty vicious here, but this is the start of having the Zeku Eins 1. One of my old bread and butters for a long time was the Z Zulu, but we also do have the Psyche Mudelka test type around here. That's going to be a really common one. A lot of the time, more often than not, you will have multiple raids, and there will just be 2 Gyaradoga Psyche test types on either side because they have a lot of accumulation and just bang down with their other funnels. You also have stuff like the Gyaradoga Kai running around with extra ODL, heavy staggers. Cable suits are prominent at this cost. In this case, you also have those Sturmfoss kicking around. You have other AOZ suits like the TR5 that, transform, have 2 melee, and even though they're not rocking the same kind of priority, it doesn't really matter because they're just kind of angling it and slapping the shit out of you and yada yada yada. Also, Engage Gundam Booster. I didn't see too many of these when we were running around. But one thing that was a little bit interesting, and I wonder why. And I forget if there was one in the match that we did, but the Full Armor Mark II was starting to make a bit of a comeback, which I thought was a little bit odd. But beyond that, thinking about a lot of the stuff here, a lot of Sturmfoss kicking around, a lot of just regular bazookas. The perfect Gundam, of course, is at this cost too, which just has a bazooka that it can hit you with that just circumvents an entire field, yada yada yada. There's a lot of aggressive suits that are going to give you a hard time. So let's bring this into practice. We'll show it off a little bit, and then we'll get into the example match because boy oh boy. Unfortunately, it took us a hot second to try to get a decent round in this thing. And part of me feels like it is just kind of having a hard time keeping up with other things, and other things in me are like, nah, it's just because the nature of this suit kind of gets it into a lot of trouble unless you just want to play it as straight as possible, not flying, not doing anything, blah blah blah, right? So okay, typical output there. 1, 2, 3. So 3 bursts on that, not too bad. Sturmfoss readies up relatively quickly. The downswing A little bit of a give and take on how fast that goes down in the hitbox. Depending on the distance, if you go in a little too far to see how much that slides. Now that being said, right as soon as it comes down and around, you can cancel out of it, so you don't really have to follow and keep that going. Now that being said, you still can get landing punished while trying to get out of that, and if you honestly try to roll out of it, you know, not super worth it. You don't have 2 rolls. Probably should mind yourself a little bit. As you can see there, we have the attack down when you're in motion, attack up when you're immobile because of the mode. We'll show off the Groby. So regardless of where you're at ammo wise, as soon as it's fully charged, you're gonna lose all of it. You lose all your shots. Decent amount of output there, as you can see. You know, not too bad on the reach with everything else. Trying to mind yourself a little bit with some of those melee strings though. And once we get this, we'll try to show off again. Like, you got some play here. Decent amount. 9408. With nothing else really on it, you can move in for another stun, try to throw in this, and then just go in for the rest of it. And actually, that's interesting. That might be a little bit of a sweet spot for where that hitbox still gets in there. And as you can see there, there's a lot of play on the backswing for that sword. You can hit behind you and past pretty steadily as long as you're doing a little bit of turning in there. So not bad in that regard. You know, and obviously you can pop your flight mode and get in there and start to fly around and use your downswing for extra traversal. Try to be careful because you don't have regular like aerial downswings. You do when you're in flight mode, but that just kind of goes without saying. You can just swing and do whatever. Now, in terms of our base busting capabilities, not super crazy. Rifle does decent chunks. Sternfaust, of course, is going to put in some work for you. The Groby on this is just... it's good on suits. I think similar with how it was on the other Zeta 3A. Not really what this is meant for. Not a big deal, though. You might as well just save those and just do individual shots. And this is definitely outside of the chunking in there with the Sternfaust, which, as you saw, that was a pretty visible piece that got clanked out of this. It's mostly just for fending off other suits while the real damage dealers for the base handle business. So, not a bad thing. You can still, you know, try to clutch things in there at the very end if you really needed to. But definitely not its primary purpose. That is the general long and short for how this tends to behave. Very simple. And to a certain degree, it kind of feels a little bit rough because it's so simple. I think in this case, we are actually not going to do an outro. We are going to just move it on to the match because I do end up doing some conclusive stuff towards the end of it. So I will say this is a neat suit. I think I will probably run this throughout the week. It's interesting that we don't have an opportunity to run this for clan matches because the next clan match isn't going to be until the week after at 650, which means they're probably going to get another suit around that cost. So this is going to fly under the radar until later on in the clan match schedule where it really gets to, you know, show its teeth and see what it can do. I really don't like the back buster on this. It just looks like a fucking butthole. Like, I don't know why this is what they decided to do. And I get that it's supposed to be similar to the Violent, but the one on the Violent is so much smaller. It's so fucking silly. But it's interesting to see that they still have some stuff in the tank when it comes to AOZ. And as I said, I'll talk to you guys next time. But for now, here goes our example match, which we'll be putting right around here. Take care, guys.
Up and at 'em, Mobile Suit Team! Sortie time! Here we go! Commence operation!
Alright. Feels really weird that the gun just doesn't have a long blade on it. And again, I shouldn't be hit out of that so easily. Like, regardless of running that fucking field or not.
Your ally's been knocked out! An ally has destroyed an enemy mobile suit!
What the fuck shield did that have? Isn't Jagan? Yeah. Where's my baby then?
Ally's been knocked out! An ally has destroyed an enemy mobile suit!
Roswell.
We captured a beacon!
That's not it either. Do they just not have one, or is that it? No.
Whoa, your mobile suit isn't looking good! An ally has destroyed an enemy mobile suit! Enemy mobile suit destroyed! The enemy's captured a beacon! An ally has destroyed an enemy mobile suit! Your ally's been knocked out! An ally has destroyed... Your ally's been knocked out! Oh no! Your mobile suit has had it! Your ally's been knocked out!
That's gotta be him. No, that's ours, because he's fighting it, so...
Pick where
Yeah,
and
if I just wandered in there.
been knocked out!
Okay. Alright. Alright, so Street Raider is already able to do that in about 5 minutes or so. 6 is just gonna die. He's just gonna give them a bunch of assists. He was chasing, but... I bet you he didn't kill it. I bet it didn't die.
Been knocked out! Good luck!
And they already have a suit over there too. What the fuck? Disrespectful ass.
The enemy's captured a beacon! This damage shouldn't affect you much. You've taken some serious damage.
There's my baby. Where the hell has he been this whole time?
Whoa, your mobile suit
Oh my
isn't
god.
looking good. Oh no! Your mobile suit is...
Apparently behind this entire wall of bullets that my shield doesn't protect against. So, you know, that's nice.
Your ally's been knocked out!
Now they're just gonna fucking sit on our base.
Good luck!
I'm so eager to go help. So fun.
Long-range communications established.
Jesus
Target
Christ, dude.
confirmed. Your ally's been knocked out!
Pain in the ass.
Your ally's been knocked... Long-range supporting fire is coming in hot! Firing... Don't give up yet! Hang in there! Your ally's been knocked out!
Don't even get to know the result because they were getting their ass
Taking
kicked
enemy fire!
too hard. That's what I'm talking about though. Like there's a good amount of range you can get out of that, but oh wow, that shit made me sing like a rock. What the fuck?
An ally has destroyed an enemy mobile suit. Enemy mobile suit.
Oh fuck, dude, he's literally on a sliver. Just finish him. Finish your fucking food. It can't be that hard every fucking time. God damn. I don't even know if I trust them to get that fucking bomb handled.
Fire incoming! Base has just jumped up in priority. An ally is defusing a bomb.
Wow, yeah, that does reach a lot.
Bomb removed from base successfully. Fire incoming! This damage shouldn't affect you much. Incredible! You're on a roll! Your ally's been knocked out! An ally has destroyed an enemy mobile. 1 minute remaining. Stay sharp! Your ally's been knocked out!
Oh boy, oh boy, oh.
You've taken some serious damage.
Roll.
Mobile suit isn't looking. Enemy mobile suit destroyed. Your,
Oh god.
your mobile suit has had it.
This is ugly ass suit. It's got a blasted out butthole. The stupid Hazel Icarus. Fucking just slapped a bunch of virulent shit all over it.
Your ally's been knocked. Time has run out.
I got it with the P-bow.
Yeah, we won.
Oh my god, finally after a billion runs that went bad. Mostly because these guys were finishing shit for shit. Jesus. So, I mean, in the way that we were finishing those suits, the rifle's got a good amount of reach. The Garovi on it can be gross. You really do got to be careful where you try to engage with it. But it's got extreme range on it, and it's a three stun super long beam. The MG does have a little bit more range than it seemed like it did initially, but like I kind of wish it had 2 melee. Kind of sucks that it doesn't. And like the baseline boost that it has, not super great. Having force cooling, definitely nice, just being able to get all that back super fast so that you can just at least get back up into the air again. The beam deflector, not great. There's a lot of stuff at this cost that still just has a lot of ballistic and shit, so I don't know. I wouldn't count on it too much. Nice if you're just trying to go in and don't want to get hit with other shit since it doesn't have an offensive system, but like, man, I kind of wish it did. It's kind of a bit of an O situation in that regard. Said it doesn't get to pop a sensor or anything, so I don't know. Probably will still run it during the week. Not awful. I like that it has a little bit of long range play before it really has to go in and start swinging around, but like I feel like it's not going to trump the Doga or any of the other typical raids at this cost.
Here are this battle's rewards.
I do also wish that the hitbox and the downswing lasted a little bit longer. It's real eager to get through that box and just slide you forward for a suit that also isn't a Scooty suit.